Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Borderline Banter. Having welcome to the show, Borderline Banter. Like I said, my name is Mike. I'm here with Dustin, as always, moving that mouse around. Dustin, how you
doing? He's doing
How you
great.
doing tonight?
He must be choking on some water or something.
Not choking on water, but something similar. I'm doing pretty good tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you. It's midweek. Glad got to see a kitty today that I might adopt. So out soon.
Well, fingers crossed. And spoiler alert, I can already hear Jays is here with us tonight.
Hi. Don't mind me. I'm just liking, commenting, and subscribing to my favorite YouTube videos.
And clicking
Borderline
buttons.
Banter, right?
Yeah.
I don't see
Yeah.
you liking the videos, but it's all right. But yeah, welcome to Borderline Banter.
I like the video. Okay.
Anyway, welcome to Borderline Banter. I appreciate you watching. If you're watching later on YouTube, we do go live 3 times a week. That's Wednesday at 7 p.m. 7:30 Fridays. Join the conversation. We love to hear. Love to if we mean that.
Yeah, tell us we're wrong.
Sorry.
In the comments, tell us we're wrong.
Yeah,
we
like that conversation. You know what? We're wrong all the time. I'm wrong.
Well, we're like never wrong though. I mean, we've retracted one story, the leaf.
It was an important story though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should get right at it. We have lots to talk about tonight.
We do indeed.
Let's hit our first story there.
All right. Let's start with one from CNN.com. Plane turns back to JFK after horse escapes on board.
Hey, question for you. Have you ever heard of so many plane stories before we started talking about them?
No, I swear they're just creating them just for us.
Yeah, like there's all the bizarre ones that have been happening lately. I remember some weird things happening. They're always big, but now there's like things all the time.
So what are you saying? Like it's
I don't know, it's weird.
What do you like? It's like a
Borderline Banter conspiracy.
Well, I mean, if you look at the Justin Trudeau thing where he said we have to regulate podcasts, that was literally right after we started.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, it could be the things we say come true. Like a superhero.
Like Simpsons animated. But yeah, so they had it.
I used to be.
Okay, plane turns back to JFK after horse escapes on board. Where did it escape to exactly? Like,
why was it there to begin with?
What is this?
Okay, so I
can understand taking a dog, but a horse.
How's it going? Ooh. Check your
where...
Discord messages. Get you on the show. We can plan you out here. Yeah, okay, let's find out. That's insane.
Yeah, let's see what's going on here.
Horse escapes.
Yeah. So it was a Boeing 747, so that's like your normal passenger plane.
Yeah.
All right. It's forced to turn around on November 9th after a horse got loose in the cargo hold.
So it was in the cargo hold. I assume it was had in some sort of enclosure in the cargo hold.
Okay. The horse, which partially escaped its stall, was airborne. It had to be euthanized due to according to dealer with what? Sorry, according to with
the cargo operator by charter airline Air Atlanta Icelandic had climbed to around 31,000 feet when the crew contacted air traffic control in Boston to report that the horse had escaped.
Okay, so why didn't they have it sleep? I think that's
I don't know.
You think that's something that they'd give some drugs to knock out for 8 hours? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And yeah, like at 500-600, I don't know how heavy some horses are. Guessing 500 or 600 pounds. That jumping
maybe
up and
more,
down, if not more, 1,000 pounds. That jumping up and down in an aircraft is probably not a good thing, you know.
Well, that's why it injured itself to the point where it had to be euthanized, unfortunately.
Yeah, and very sad. I did not know that coming in. I didn't pre-read this at all. I figured this headline's insane enough. Could save it all for the banter.
No problem flying wise. One of the pilots says in a video reconstruction by YouTube channel, you can see ATC, but we cannot get the horse back secured. So they weren't able to get it back to its enclosure, I guess. Horse was among 15 different horses being transported to Liege, an import hub for Europe, when the turbulence struck shortly after takeoff. the head of a corporation responsible for the operating animal quarantine and export of JFK International Airport. The horse became spooked and jumped halfway over the high front barrier of the stall and become hung.
What?
Oh. The horse jumped and managed to get its two front legs over the front barrier and then got jammed. It's only the second time in all the years I've been doing this that I've ever seen it happen. And we do thousands of horses a year in an unfortunate event, but the horse was very spooked. So this is a company that does horse transportations.
Know what they're doing. And never really. I guess you don't think of animals. Oh, I guess. I guess in Madagascar they had the plane. No, was it a boat? I don't remember.
We disperse veterinary care, animal handlers, medical equipment, horse slings, a horse ambulance, everything necessary to accommodate that horse. We had to take the other horses out to get the equipment in, to get the horse out, he said. But once the animal was on the ground, it was determined its injuries were too great. Oh.
So, but there was this thing up here. The air traffic control could be heard granting pilots requests to return to JFK Airport, and because the plane was too heavy to dump 20 tons of fuel east of Nantucket, they just dumped fuel.
That's what they
do. Like just
them,
dumping it.
Yeah, they do it lots. Literally, I don't know exactly.
What the fuck?
Well, it does it a lot. They don't really do it lots, but it's a thing. A very massive sort of thing. And by the time it hits the ground, it's so spread out, you probably won't even.
So it was being shipped for breeding, basically, including racehorses and show horses. Are routinely shuttled safely around the globe without incident, but the episode speaks to the inherent unpredictability of work with horses, which are flight animals that can injure themselves unexpectedly when they are frightened or startled. Why do we care as much about breeding horses?
Yeah,
that's stupid.
Yeah, because they want the fastest, right? They want the fastest man,
right.
the fastest one. Boom. Now they can get the fastest baby.
Well, it's the same thing with like show dogs and stuff, and then they end up getting.
Oh yeah.
Because, yeah.
It's so weird. I don't like those shows. Horses are loaded on the ground into massive dead-bolted shipping containers with 3 narrow stalls per container. Those containers are then stacked against one another inside the plane, making it impossible to open the stall door mid-flight. Horses can... So the horses can hang their heads over that front barrier. That's why they have that front barrier. But obviously, if you could put your head through, you put your feet through. I've got a cat.
Yeah. So I know it's probably they try to do it for the horses, but the bars up, keep it safe now. Because I know it only happens once in a while.
Oh, hey, we were questioning what the horse would weigh. It would have been impossible for flight grooms to physically lift the horse back. Horses weigh on average around 1,000 pounds.
I guarantee if you went upstairs and be like, hey, guys, get some 4 or 5 big guys.
Possibly, maybe.
Hold though, like you can't just go up to the top of the plane and have passengers come down. Like it's not. Planes aren't built that way.
Yeah, you can still do it. Very fun.
You can just climb around on the outside of the plane.
No, you go. There's a hat. There's a hatch.
Gotcha.
So they were able to take off again, and they were only 3 hours behind schedule as far as the actual plane itself. Yeah, I mean it's kind of shitty that they had to put the horse down. Like, and they're saying all these things is why they couldn't do anything, but it's like, come on.
But yeah, once a racehorse leg's broken.
Yeah.
Nobody wants. I'm sure somebody wanted.
Yeah. In October of 2023 alone, an otter and a rat were reported to have caused uproar after escaping from hand luggage on the VietJet flight from Bangkok, while a bear cub broke loose from its crate on a flight from Baghdad to Dubai while passengers were on board. You can watch that video here.
Let's watch that. Okay, let's watch that. What?
I mean, we missed these 2 stories, of course.
Imagine you're on an airplane and there's just a goddamn bear, you know?
So this is kind of a bonus here.
Samuel Jackson
was being stuck inside. Luckily, Amy saved big at Amazon.
Tired? Goddamn horses. Goddamn plane.
Okay. This is a terrible ad.
Amazon though. Oh, bear breaks loose.
A bear cub breaking loose from its cargo crate on a flight from Baghdad to Dubai.
There he is.
Passengers were on board, by the way, especially.
All right.
He's just getting ear scratches.
Yeah, he's getting scritches, and he's like, yay.
The Iraqi Airways
That's pretty
plane. There
funny.
were 2 endangered bears on this flight. And this
But yeah,
one, it
rest
tried
in
to
peace.
escape.
That
As
horse,
you can
that's
imagine, it
unfortunate.
caused delays
Very, very
and
unfortunate.
much less.
Yeah.
That was
They
some
did
weird
not-
audio.
I never realized
But,
that. They're animals. I guess they have to
okay,
transport
let's
them
get the
somehow.
video.
They have to.
Yeah, I guess,
But
since we've
imagine
created
you're
the
on an
need.
airplane and you don't know there's a friggin' like a whole bunch of bears down below, right? Like,
I didn't know they were doing
like, they
this.
could be bears. You could have been flying with bears. You could have been flying with friggin' horses.
This is how the snakes got on the plane in
Yeah.
the first place.
That's how this.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, that's insane.
kind of crazy.
Any of you guys in chat? Anything to say? You guys know that? Know that?
Animals are flying with you.
Yeah.
Even if you're on just a normal passenger flight, this is literally normal passenger flights that these are talking about. Like,
Imagine-
obviously, this was going to Dubai, but
Imagine
still.
them saying, we got to turn around because the horse got out.
Oh, in this case, they just had to sedate and remove the cub. So that's with a bear cub. That's good.
It was
Still crazy,
Probably be a different story. Yeah.
probably. But who are you allowed to transport adult bears on a plane?
You're allowed to transport anything. Freaking horses up there.
I'm gonna transport a moose.
Besides, there's that much room on a friggin' cargo.
There shouldn't be.
Imagine how many more seats they can put because of that.
Yeah.
And then they want to charge you for your friggin' extra weight. Give me a break. Come on.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Jay's mentioned that we do all these airplane stories, but this one was in October of 2023.
Yeah.
We could have gotten that one. We missed it.
Wow, I do.
We missed the bear one.
We missed some of them. It happens.
This doesn't have a day in October, but somewhere in October they did this. There. No, this is 8/7. Maybe this wasn't October. This looks like August 7th,
7th, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
according to the title up here.
Okay,
I don't know though,
so-
because the thing I was clicking said 2023, but maybe that was the bear and otter one, because there was the rat and otter one, otter and rat. So like we don't even catch them all. There's even more. Oh no, deadly Cape Cobra. Wait,
Oh,
this is literally
whoa,
a snake on a
okay,
plane
yeah.
happened.
Then how's the captain plane to make an emergency landing in April after it? Okay, let's open it up. Never know the badger's gonna take us.
Oh, that's literally a snake on
But
a
there's-
plane.
That's not a snake.
Yeah, nope. I
Yeah.
quit.
Captain never flying again. Jeez.
Ah,
Like that,
No.
you called it, Jays. You said that's exactly how that movie happened. And it's true, you know. Like, well, let's just get this friendly little snake across a friggin' country. Next thing you know, the pilot and the friggin' doors locked.
This
Bacon's
isn't
pretty
a
good.
friendly little snake though. Like,
Sorry about all the ads.
stop putting snakes on airplanes.
Yeah.
Stop putting animals on
Okay,
airplanes.
did
and
you
don't belong on
friggin' double
airplanes.
lock it?
Of the film Snakes on a Plane, you remember that one? A South African pilot was forced to make an emergency landing after a Cape Cobra, like this one, you can see there, slithered up his shirt.
Oh my
With the
God.
snake's venom
Oh.
killed up to 9 people. The pilot then told passengers about the deadly stowaway, trying, of course, to avoid panic. He was praised for remaining calm, and this is what he said. To be truly honest, it's as if my brain did not register what was going on. It was, he went on to say, a moment of awe. I wouldn't actually call it a moment of
Like,
awe.
good for him
but
for not
that's the
freaking
glad
out.
it-
I would have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, they never have footage of these things
Yeah.
either.
I-
All these people getting their phones out for dumb stuff, and no one gets their phone out for the good stuff.
Okay, just follow about that. You're going to record the cool thing. Like, I saw a video today. This chick was recording this crane. All of a sudden, it started tipping. So she turned around and ran. You saw the video of her running, and you hear a smash. She looks back. The crane's on the ground. Like,
So she missed it.
what's the even point of posting that? You know? But
How dare people put their own safety above content?
okay, there was nowhere near her anyway. And secondly, like,
Their perceived safety.
yeah,
But
okay, yeah.
you're right. She absolutely screwed up, and there's an entire subreddit dedicated to that,
It's okay,
where the
cool.
cameraman messes up.
Cool, but don't post it like that. Posting nothing.
I'm just saying, there's a perfect place to repost it. Anybody wants karma, it's out there for the taking.
Okay. What do we have next here?
Probably something completely unrelated to airplanes. We have a follow-up story, I believe.
know if we actually did talk
Those-
about
Did we end up talking about the hockey player accident?
I think you and I did.
I don't remember this, but from CNN, man released on bail following arrest on suspicion of manslaughter over death of ice hockey player Adam Johnson. Please say.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a quick rundown. A few years ago, there was a hockey game. He died with another player, and this gentleman, he actually passed away, but that one guy, his skate went up and slit this guy's throat. So as he's falling, people are trying to say he lifted his leg and cut the guy's throat on purpose. I personally think that'd be a very hard thing to.
What's the motive?
Now, and what
Like, did he already
saying-
have beef with the guy
I
or
don't,
something?
I don't
like,
think so. And what people are saying is like, oh, he has the most penalties in the league. Well, that doesn't make him guilty.
it might be manslaughter.
But
If you're doing something unsafely over and over again, it might be
but
manslaughter.
we're not going to show the video. If you want to see the video,
No, yeah.
it's not. You don't really see much, but yes, this did happen in the '90s actually. Game. Only thing that saved the man's life is he dropped his glove and covered his throat, and he actually held the blood in. He made it to the bench where they can see.
Yeah, I'm out on the sport where you wear knives on your feet.
Yeah, but now they're getting quick off topic. Not really off, but they are now putting neck guards in almost everywhere, which it should have been a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean that's just protective gear. I mean, even if it's a low chance of happening, like, well, here's an incident.
Okay, so yeah, a coroner's report found that 29-year-old sustained that
Cut?
right. Oh, down below.
Oh, incised.
Incised.
I thought you were up here where it said
Inside.
sustained.
Injury
like,
to the neck caused an escape by another player and later died in hospital. Yeah, I personally don't think he did it on purpose. I would hope he didn't do it on purpose.
But whether you did it on purpose or not, it might still be manslaughter. Because what if he's doing something repeatedly that endangers other people? That's manslaughter.
But playing hockey and giving somebody a check, you watch a video, and Dustin and I went over the video. Check the guy, and he went airborne. Then his stick got stuck in someone else's skate and pulled him forward, and that jerked his body. That's what I saw. I pointed it out to you, I believe. Right?
Yeah, there's definitely that
it does
where he's not fully in control of his body when it happens. So it's like, I don't know how you charge that, but obviously the charge they're looking at is suspicion of manslaughter.
It's a freak accident. Now, if they have proof he did it on purpose.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't have to be on purpose necessarily to have, crimes.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Anyway.
But for manslaughter, like, it's, we'll see what happens.
Well, and the way I'm just reading the article for what it says. He's on bail, which means the charges are not dropped.
Yeah.
You pay money to be free while they wait for your court date.
Yeah.
That's what that is. So they still have charges pending.
Yeah.
Now, the Panthers put out a statement on October 29th saying exactly what you're saying and exactly what I would say about it. It's a freak accident.
Yeah.
And
better get into more widely worn.
yeah, and actually that's literally what you're saying. The neck guards are going to be more widely worn, so some good can try to come out of this nonsense.
It should have been done years ago. Been done after the last guy, I guess. And actually, Don Cherry, a lot of people said that back in the 90s. Like, I don't understand why they're not wearing neck guards. You guys should be wearing neck guards. I'm crazy. He was kind of.
And we'll have to make sure we follow up on this because, like I said, this is still ongoing. And at the very end, they say the investigation into his death remains ongoing. So, at the very least, the follow up may be something like charges dropped. This has been ruled accidental, and the district attorney has declined to do anything further with it, kind of thing. Maybe the update. That'd be my prediction of the update. A less likely one would be they come back and say the dude who did it had a reason and they found a manifesto. Oh, no, probably not. Very unlikely that the guy, like you said, if they had a past, you think people would already be putting that into these articles and stuff too.
Like, he did have the most penalty, but again, doesn't mean I don't know.
The interesting thing is they're not naming the other
Like,
guy though. They didn't name the guy who did it. They say another player, man released, man has been released. They literally just never give us the name of the guy.
Bizarre. Look it up.
Which, yeah, I know in the other times we looked at it, it was available, so I'm not sure why,
Man
and that's
released
probably
on bail.
because
Yeah, weird. That's
that's probably
very
so if it
bizarre.
goes to court and trial, it'll have a fair
Oh, because
trial.
yeah, I know what they're getting smart. They don't want to get charged for slander ever again. So they're just putting man other than the person's name. So they can,
unless it's from Florida, then it'll
Yeah.
say Florida man.
Florida man. That way they can be like, oh well, we didn't pay. Like, but if they say so and so
Yeah.
did this and it comes back there, they can't charge scene.
That's true. I mean, vagueness is a defense for all these places. Anyone got anything more on the hockey story?
Nope.
All right, like I said, we'll stay tuned with that one. We like to do follow-ups. Next up, we got NBC News. Michigan judge denies effort to keep Trump off 2024 ballot. I didn't know this was even happening.
There are a lot of.
Isn't it also happening in Colorado too, though?
I don't know, but of course they're trying.
So a group of Michigan voters filed a legal challenge to Donald Trump's candidacy, arguing that he had violated the 14th Amendment. Well, obviously, the judge denied their legal challenge.
Yeah.
That's the way I'm reading that?
Yeah, that's what.
Yep. So oh God.
Great picture.
I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. If you want something scary,
It almost looks like it's art.
Almost.
That's a judge picture. That's got to be from inside the court. What's that say? Yeah, it is. 100%.
Yeah, that's probably court art. Yeah.
It's okay. I'm like, there's no way, but.
So, Michigan judge on Tuesday dismissed an effort to keep former President Donald Trump off the state's ballot 2024. Judge said that under Michigan law, the Secretary of State does not have the authority to intervene in a primary election if the party chooses to list a candidate who would not qualify for the office. Oh, they're talking about primaries.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
That's a different story.
So here's one from Associated Press about Colorado, and it's the same thing except it just went to the judge. I just put it in general. But it looks like on Wednesday they heard closing arguments on whether former President Donald Trump is barred from the ballot by a provision of the U.S. Constitution that forbids those who engage in insurrection from holding office.
He hasn't been charged for that yet.
I mean, he's been charged for it, but he
Yeah,
hasn't been convicted.
Convicted, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Guilty.
And they heard closing arguments. So is this still pending the judge's decision? Is that where this one's at?
Denver, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, even know for Friday. Probably do a follow up on Friday.
This is last week. The Minnesota Supreme Court dodged the question, but then today, in this article, they basically shut it down and said, "Yeah, you can be on the ballot."
Can't really tell he is found guilty.
So last week was Minnesota. Tuesday was Michigan. This article is Colorado. How many places are they trying stuff?
4, I believe. New York was last.
Okay. And this article mentions that 2 of them have failed.
They're not all of them going to fail.
Probably, especially if they're going after the primaries. We've talked about this before. The RNC and the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, the Republican National Convention, the ones who choose.
They have the right to conduct their primary however they want, even putting up a criminal who actually can't run for the job.
Yep. They have absolutely no limits. I mean, it's just ridiculous, but it's how they were created. But it puts a layer between the people and the power.
But every time Democrats do this to him, gains 4 points. Watch it. Every time he got started, had to go to court, every time the photo of him in jail happened, points went up. Every time something happens, they should just
points?
Not like in the race.
What points?
But I mean, like, if there was an election today, held today, Donald Trump would win over.
You know, you say that, but I disagree.
I believe CNN even admitted that.
So he wasn't proven guilty on anything as far as the Russian investigation, on the impeachment stuff, on literally anything. He wasn't found guilty, but it looked really bad in the public eye. And then COVID happened, and then he kind of mishandled that. And then he still lost the election. Like after all of this accusation stuff came about,
Yeah, he had a ton of
He
court things
got-
that if he was
yeah, he
getting
had a-
points from court things, why didn't it work?
it didn't work the
Why do
first
you
time.
lose? Yeah, why do you
And
lose? Because he
I
had
don't
tons of
think
court
it's gonna
things
work
going
the
into
second time either,
2020.
to be honest.
Because not as many people hated Biden then. More people hate Biden now.
I don't.
Or
think
your
enough people
or your
hate
correlation's
Biden to
not
vote for somebody that's a criminal.
yeah, or the correlation
Well,
between
I
him
guess-
going to court and him getting
Yeah, that's-
votes doesn't
They're all
exist.
criminals.
Yeah. I mean, all the politicians are. But that being said, you know, I don't think he has a chance of winning.
I do. But we won't. I can't vote. That's my thing. But you do not need ID to vote. So maybe I'll just head up down.
I feel like people would be
Okay.
willing to take a dead log that they find in the forest over Donald Trump as president. And
Because
that's how Biden, got elected the first time.
I,
And it'll
I
happen
don't
again.
think it's gonna work this time.
But just remember that this whole idea of points going up for these things happening to him, that would be coming from polls. And I don't believe in polls.
No.
Just-
You know who tried to say polls were definitely correct? Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you started saying it before. Fuck, you did know.
Yeah, I do know.
Yeah,
I
you
know,
said
I
that
know.
phrase and you exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are on the same page here, right?
But,
Scary face one more time.
yeah, but we'll find out. We'll see.
Yeah, we can all have our predictions and
It's a
we will
year
find
away.
out.
It's a year away.
It'd be nice if they didn't talk about it a year ahead of time.
Yeah.
It's worse than like Christmas stuff happening in
See,
October.
in the
Right.
States, elections happen take over 2 years. Here in Canada,
Yeah.
they're like, we're gonna call election in a week and a half. Get ready. And then we all
Like,
run
whoa,
and
I don't
vote.
know anybody.
Yeah. No, it's not
Here-
like that. I think it's usually.
Here they're like,
I guess I'll just vote for Justin
an election
Trudeau.
just ended. An election just ended. We're starting the next one.
Exactly. No, that's exactly how it is there, right? Non-stop.
And it also, our politicians have started using the excuse of, we can't do that so close to an election year, like 2 or 3 years before an
Yeah,
election.
how
Which is
dare
right
you.
after the last
So
one.
we can never do anything. Awesome. Good to hear. I mean, at least you're saying it now.
So, from CBC News, stand your butt up. U.S. Senator shouts at Union. Heated committee showdown.
Senator Bernie Sanders shuts down absurd exchange between Teamster leader senator at congressional hearing. So
Yeah.
Bernie had to play referee.
Yeah, I heard him. Oh, you guys stop fighting! You know.
Okay, so we have all seen the clip. I don't. Does this actually have it? Maybe we'll be able to.
Yeah, it's not too far into it too. I think
Now let's talk about.
Here we go.
Brian himself, his behavior. As everybody.
It's
knows,
got the
and
stand your
last
butt up
night,
in it.
Him and I kind of had a back and forth. Appreciate your
This
demeanor
is
today. It's quite different.
Classic.
But
It's
after
kind of
the
long
last
though. I don't know if we want to watch
No,
the
Not
full 3
classic in
minutes.
the sense that
In
it's
fact,
something
you-
that happens all the time. It's classic in the sense that
Let
I will
me-
Let's hear it.
laugh
One,
about this for like a
2,
year.
3, 4, 5 times. And let me read what the last one said. It said, greedy CEO who pretends like he's self-made. Sir, I wish you was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company myself, and my wife was
How did you start
running
that
the office
company, though? Who
because
gave you the money for
I
that?
sure remember.
Yeah, I
what
don't even. I would have to dig into him to tell him why he's a
Like
liar.
yourself,
It's too much work for
yeah.
me. I'm not doing
Okay.
it.
Clown, fraud, always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me, any place, anytime, cowboy.
Tough guy act.
Sir, this is a time, this is a place.
Yeah.
If you want to run
Let's
your
go.
mouth, we can keep it consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Let's stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
No,
guy.
no, stop it.
Is that your solution, every
Hold on. No, sit
Look,
down.
he went to take the ring off too. You
No,
know.
no, you're a United
Like,
States
ready for
senator.
this?
Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond, Mr.
Hold
Chairman?
it. Hold it.
Bernie.
No, I have the mic. I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't.
This
This is my government.
I now
God
I don't know if
knows
this
the
is true,
American
but I think
people
that's
have
I heard that
enough
senator is
for
a
Congress. Let's stop
I don't
MMA
like
fighter.
bugs and
You-
bullies.
You have-
Yeah, I think I
I
heard
don't
something
like
like
you.
that too.
Hold it.
Describe
He did
yourself.
3 fights.
Hold it.
You won every
This
one.
is like when dad pulls the car over on the
All right,
side of the
let's
road
look.
and turns
Let's
back
do
to the
this,
back seat.
because I
and
did
you're with
challenge
Yeah, we don't have to
Justin
watch
and
the
you're
rest
like,
of this.
"Oh."
Challenge.
Don't have to watch the rest of
And
this.
you
But
went
yeah,
quiet.
that was a
No, I
fight
didn't go.
that was pretty like It would have been cool to see them fight. Bernie had to stop him, but it would have been cool because that guy was shitting his pants. Mr. I can't read.
He wasn't shitting his pants.
This
Look at
guy?
him.
Yeah, I think
He
was
wasn't.
worried.
No, I've watched the clip a few times, and I've heard a lot of people say he was shitting his pants.
But
He wasn't.
Look at when he
He was
went to
like,
pretend to stand up there.
perfect.
Go after
He was
Brandon.
trying to also stand up to fight the guy. He was trying to stand up out of his chair. He looked like he was ready to do it.
Yeah, I don't think.
I know what you're talking about because I've seen the articles
would've
already
got it-
saying that.
I haven't seen any articles about that. That's just what I see. But anyway, he would have lost.
I mean, do you know either of these guys?
No, but from what I've heard, the other, like, again,
What do you mean? You just said you hadn't heard
I'm not
anything.
voting.
You said you hadn't
Not
read
about
anything
this
about
guy,
this.
so, yeah. Okay.
So the last
So
time
what
there
have you
was
heard
a-
about him?
The other guy's an MMA fighter who had 3 fights.
But what have you heard about Mr. O'Brien?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You haven't heard about the fights this guy's gotten into?
He looked like he probably actually.
There's footage of this guy fighting, you know, right? Yeah. That's why I'm wondering, like, how much have you looked into this? Because it'd be a pretty equal fight.
Then it would have been
So
nice.
the last time there was a fist fight on the Senate floor was on February 22nd, 1902. It was John McLaurin, South Carolina's junior senator, who raced into the Senate chamber and pronounced that the senior senator Ben Tillman was guilty of willful, malicious, and deliberate lying. Standing nearby, Tillman spun around and punched McLaren squarely in the jaw.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so that's crazy. What's his name too? Apparently got in a fight in the hallway. The old speaker, McCarthy. Apparently he got in a elbowed some.
Now, to this guy's point where he said this is the time, this is the place, or whatever, as a response to O'Brien saying name a place, name a time. This is not the time and not the place. This is the Senate floor. Mullin's kind of stupid.
But
What O'Brien wanted was outside of there, like in 2 hours. Like Mullin, you did it wrong. I don't.
it's probably good.
The guy gave you an option and you were dumb.
Yeah.
You tried to fight him at your place of work.
Well,
I would get fired if I fought somebody at my place of work.
I don't know. They both accepted it, right? But yeah, it was pretty.
The funny thing is, they wouldn't be fired.
This is-
Well, at least the senator wouldn't.
This
You don't
is-
lose your job for fighting on the Senate floor, do you?
No, I don't think you do. I think
Yeah.
I think you are fine because it is against the rules. So it is against the first 20 rules. 10 dealt with proper behavior. So it's decorum rule.
Was that in the Senate or was that somewhere else?
I was in the Senate. Yeah.
But they've also used decorum for ridiculous things, like John Fetterman's shorts.
His shorts. So goddamn. I just said he-
we
No.
did do decorum already, so we you know.
Yeah, that's pretty silly. I would have been funny to watch him fight, but would have been good for nothing.
Oh.
And that's why Twitter shouldn't, these guys shouldn't be making comments on. They should be.
Why not?
They can make their comments, but arguing with each other, that's just schoolyard fights. You know what I mean? That's not doing.
I don't know that I would say it's not doing anything.
That's causing shit, causing fights. I guess that's making them money too, because every time you get a chance, just fight.
I mean, we're seeing one of the results.
Yeah.
But also, like, I haven't read their posts. I don't know what else was in them. But it may be posts that
I'm
are
not
great
just
for
saying
their
these-
base.
I'm not just saying these two guys in general. I'm just saying all over. We're reading tweets between Israel and Hamas. You know, it's like they were tweeting each other. It's like, what the
Okay,
frick?
but to suggest that incendiary tweets would have no positive, like, impact, like, how do you explain Trump then? Because he does nothing but incendiary tweets, and it's positive for him.
Yeah, for sure. But
So
like,
why wouldn't it be
I'm not-
positive for
okay,
Mullin
I'm not-
and
okay,
O'Brien?
But for them to be arguing at each other and threatening each other like that, like, oh, well, blah, blah, and saying shit like that.
How is it different?
Making a post like, this is what I'm going to do, and they making a post like, oh, well, you're like pansy and you suck, or whatever like that. That's, I don't know.
You're a moron and full of shit. Here's examples from the actual
I think
thing.
I should have been looking at that. But yeah.
Why shouldn't Mullin call O'Brien a moron? And why shouldn't O'Brien say Mullin's full of shit? Like, I don't see a reason for them not to. It's probably speaking to their base of followers.
okay.
That's what
Yeah.
that platform's for. And that's why I try to use Trump as the example. Like, he can literally tear somebody a new asshole like DeSantis, and his followers love it.
Yeah.
It's the content they're waiting for on X. You know, I think it's the reason we have X, formerly known as Twitter, is so people can go out there and say dumb shit, but have a whole big following who agree with their dumb shit, who do updates and say, I like that. That was a good thing you said. You called him a moron? That's hilarious. You said he's full of shit? That's hilarious.
Okay, I can see we
So,
have-
I mean, so for their followers, they're building a following on
Yeah.
platforms, social platforms.
has to give
Both of them.
Yes.
And this thing going viral, this video, is
Don't get
perfect
bigger,
for
better,
both of
yeah,
them.
'cause they're both
For
gonna
both
get-
of them.
Yeah.
You know? They're both going to get something out of this, which is great. I think.
Check the tweets later, see together, yeah.
And we get content because we got almost a fist fight. A little upset we didn't get the fist fight, though. You challenged me to a cage match, acting like a 12-year-old schoolyard bully.
Yeah, yeah. Like, it is pretty juvenile on both of their ends. That's politics for you, right?
I mean, they should probably choose their champions, you know, do trial by combat, but, you know, choose your champion style. That's the way it's supposed to be done. You shouldn't, these two wouldn't fight. They'd pick their champions.
No, you toss them both to the cage. Like the best one.
No, that's not how trial by combat worked. You would pick your champion.
Yeah, but
Why wouldn't that be as fun? That'd be more fun.
again,
Then I'd get to see John Cena versus Roman Reigns instead of some senator guy versus some union guy. Neither of these guys look like they can fight. You say this guy fought MMA? That was 20 plus years ago. This would suck to watch versus watching people who, you know, actually could fight.
okay. Well, these are awful quiet over there.
No, I just don't really have much to say. I
Yeah.
said a lot on this actually, but next.
Brian declined instead, suggesting they meet for coffee and work out their differences. Oh, that's the union guy, by the way, saying that they should drink coffee and talk.
Yeah. Maybe
But
not.
then you go
iced
read his
coffee.
tweet.
Maybe iced coffee. So
Maybe.
you know, no. hot
They
coffee.
each called the other a thug.
I think it would have been hilarious to see. However, it's also hilarious to see Bernie Sanders play the angry dad for a moment.
I know it was. He's waited his whole life to do that. Like, oh, I just like I got mad and yeah, that.
I bet he's done stuff like that before. But,
I know, but
mean,
I
the
just
way
like
he was like, "You are a United States senator. You will sit down and act like a United States." And I'm like, "Oh, Dad's mad."
Yeah, exactly. Time to sit down.
McConnell says it's not his problem.
Hey, don't view
It's
that.
very difficult to control the behavior of everybody. I can't do it.
Whoa,
I'm not doing the
whoa.
whole sentence.
But anyway, yes, time to move on.
He speaks like a turtle, and it's not okay. But yeah, stop fighting. This isn't UK. In the UK, they fight every day physically in their parliament. It's great. All right, I don't recognize this one. Calgary City News, Canada.
Yeah, City News is Canada wide. It's been around.
All right.
This is a follow-up for us.
Social media creators podcasts won't be regulated under liberal online streaming law. What is? Whoa! They're reversing. They're tapping out.
Yeah,
We won.
won. Yeah.
See, this is why you don't register. It was an intimidation tactic to see if you would do it just because they said so.
Well, it didn't even go through. But I did pre-read some of this because I had to. I'll let
It's a
you
little
read
hard
most
to
of it.
read this here.
But yeah, so they decided to their final policy and not gonna affect us or anybody that's like this or on TV, radio, cable, satellite, or I think have to register, which makes sense because making money.
Yeah, if it did apply to us, how would we like? Because we're in the United
Okay.
States,
Yeah.
you're in Canada. Like we crossed the border. It's the important. Like
It's
that's how we do
borderline
our stuff.
banter.
It's borderline banter. So like,
So yeah, it says the final policy
do we have
direction
to
will.
pay a tax or something. Like,
No,
don't
I would have to
understand.
open. I would have to open American. I did look into this slowly, but I'd have to open an American business as a Canadian, then I can run the business from America, from Canada. But
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're saying that the final direction is they're not going to apply it to content creators, just to broadcast services. So I guess just rich companies.
yeah, which is
Yeah,
good.
Not you and me.
Yeah, we're a non-profit, so hey, should we bother?
So those producing content on social media, podcasts, and video games will not be regulated. Yeah, get wrecked, Canada.
But if you guys give us a follow, profit.
Yeah, we're not nonprofit in the fact that we file our taxes as nonprofits. We're nonprofit in the fact that we haven't made money.
Yeah.
That's a very different thing.
Yeah. But yeah, that's good news on us. I saw that and I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, so we're safe. We're in the clear. Crosshairs off. Feels like a weight lifted. Almost.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about it anyway. I was just going to change the name of my podcast to a talk show. Boom, it's not a podcast anymore. I don't care what you say. Talk show.
And when you say you mean Justin?
Yeah. Would have been borderline.
Are you scared to directly call out Justin?
I am not.
Okay. Blink once if you're safe.
Now this horrible, saddening story. Saw this and it's terrible. From CNN, a juvenile faced murder charges in a senseless attack on a student that was captured on.
All right, well, we're not going to watch that video.
Yeah, we're not going to. They're not going to show it anyway because it is.
Yeah, and I think we're on CNN, so I don't think they'll show it. Hopefully,
Yeah,
since I did see this video, but at the time I saw it, I hadn't known that it ended in the person dying. So I didn't know I was watching a murder video when I watched it.
Like that.
Yeah, it's
that's
just.
and that's a problem these days. Is like not these. This happens lots, but it's happening more and more. Like it's like they get in there and they just go crazy. How old are the kids? Kid would die at 17.
So yeah, it says 8 juveniles. Okay.
So it was over a pair of wireless headphones and a stolen marijuana vape pen, according to police spokesperson. The beating happened November 1st in an alley near the Rancho High School campus after school let out. Las Vegas Police Lieutenant Jason Johansson, is that his? Yeah, Johansson said in a news conference Tuesday. So yeah, I mean, it sucks that this video's out there. It's a minor as well. Like,
the suspects range in age from 13 to 17, so the assailants are also all minors. They're also students of the same high school.
So there's 10, but they only charge 8.
Oh yeah, so this says the video has been widely shared on social media. What you see in the video is approximately 10 subjects kicking, stomping, and punching our victim, Jonathan, as he is on the ground, not defending himself to the point that he becomes unconscious. It's very graphic, in my opinion, very void of humanity, and that's literally why we're not going to play it.
yeah, it's literally just a mob beating up a kid.
It is.
That's just fucking film echo.
So yeah, 8 of them will be charged with the crime of murder, according to Under Sheriff Andrew Walsh. I've never heard somebody called Under Sheriff.
In Canada, they just have to wait till 18. They all got a clean record. States, I don't think it works that way, does it?
It depends on if they're tried as an adult. Okay. Then I think that's out the window. If they're tried as a juvenile, I think it works like Canada. So I think it sometimes, but in this case, I've got a feeling it's not going to be.
Well, these 4 cases were automatically transferred to adult criminal court because of the defendants are 16 or 17, the newspaper reported. So there were some older students that were kind of leading the charge, it seems.
The remaining ones were 13 to 15.
And we'll face certification hearings in family court where the judge will determine if they will also be tried as adults, so they're not in the clear either.
Okay, so 4 of them for sure will be tried as adults. So there's half your answer, and the others are pending. They may be.
And I know they're kids, but they know what they're doing. They knew exactly what. Did they intend to kill the kid? Probably not. They knew what.
Yeah. So the question is, what do you do? Because obviously you got to do something here.
And is it fair to do you want to ruin 8 children's lives? Like that's 8 other children's. But
10, but I guess 2 of them are off the hook. I don't know. Oh, maybe that's why they're saying 8 and 10. A couple of them they haven't managed to find.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like they do and I don't. That's it's in jail. 20 jail. No, I deserve 6 years in jail.
Yeah, see, that's not for me to determine.
That's the thing, though.
My answer would be pretty much always the same, as long as it takes to actually make sure that this would never happen again. Yeah, I'd give a vague answer.
And I know it's true.
I'd let them out when I know this isn't going to happen again. For some crimes, that's never. So, but that's my vague answer.
Here in Canada, they're like, oh, we're gonna release this guy in your neighborhood, probably going to attack one of your children, but we can't stop him until he does. So, bye. But
Right.
That's-
But I mean, there's obviously something. I mean, there's got to be something wrong with these kids. They need some help of some sort because you don't just
it's
beat somebody to
mob- no, but
death
it's
without.
mob mentality. All these kids
like-
get around. They think they're all gangster. Y'all want to be cool, right? They all got their phone out, making that TikTok, and it goes a little too far. They don't think it's gonna happen to them. Kids aren't
Well,
thinking like I do not like.
I don't want to say that they were making a TikTok first off
Yeah.
because we don't know that.
Like, but other people are. They just pull out the. I guess what do you do?
Yeah, like hold on, you can't be seriously thinking the cameraman's involved unless the article tells us that.
No, yeah, but no, I'm kind of crazy and I've involved myself.
Because otherwise, you're gonna have people not wanting to film things, and people
No,
should film
yeah.
things.
But okay, I get that's why I come. But
Yeah.
it's I don't know. Like I hope they figure out what happened and all that. But if it was over who stole it, was he stealing it? Still doesn't matter. But
Oh, you mean figure out what? I mean, we have the video, so I mean,
but we
it
don't.
doesn't really.
Yeah, we can go over it later.
But what do you mean figure out what happened?
Like who stole it? Did the kid who died steal it, or was he trying to get it back? But
So this article and the video goes into that. I
I
mean,
didn't
he
see
was
it.
helping another kid in the video. He was helping somebody else.
okay, so I didn't see the.
Oh, I thought we started this with. I thought you had said you had.
No, I haven't seen the.
Okay. Okay, you don't necessarily want to.
No,
I'll
I
tell you
won't.
that since you've avoided it. But so Jonathan was a loving, kind, and protective young man who cared deeply about his friends and family. He was a hero who was trying to help one of his smaller friends who was being bullied and had something stolen from him, and he tried to intervene. Yeah, I mean, and that the video literally shows it.
Yeah, no.
So it's one of those things where they say they're investigating, but like we've seen it, and I'm not gonna not believe my eyes,
And
no matter what.
Now that I said that, I get it. Like trying to help his buddy.
Yeah. Now what happened to his buddy? I'm not sure. Wondering if this article would mention
Feel
anything
bad for
about
him
it, but
because now that kid's gonna feel.
investigators say they are looking for more people who appear in the video of the beating. If you or your child or somebody you know has seen that video and recognizes anybody that may have been a participant in the senseless crime, you need to get a hold of us in our section.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're still trying to find a couple of them.
And that's horrible. I feel bad for the parents. I feel bad for his friend. Even like everybody always blames the parents to kids, but sometimes the parents can do everything they can not to be a sack of shit like this. Oh, that kills runs. I feel bad for the parents of the arrested.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to change all the families of all these kids.
This one murder affected
Their
thousands
one
of people.
night, their decisions on one night are going to change many years for many
Nine
people.
different families, at least 9 different.
Yeah, because you don't just do something like this and then like a week later you're back at school. These kids are not going to be back at school.
They're done.
So this has completely changed their
And hopefully
their childhood.
Hopefully they go to a place where they can get there. 10 years down the road, if they're good to go, let them know, right? Not just to go, but something with it.
reformation.
To hire a con, well, that's
Well, and one of the other things you mentioned, since they're minors, one of the other things is it may not stay on their permanent record. It may be one of those things where, if they do get out, they take it off their record since it happened as a minor.
if they are.
So
charged as an adult.
they try and charge them as an adult, but then when you get out, it's wiped off your record kind of thing. So, but either way, I think companies should hire ex-cons and people with records. That literally should have no bearing on hiring.
Well,
You
if
shouldn't be
you're a
allowed to have any.
If you're a pedophile, you don't want to let them.
Well, pedophiles are on a sex registry, so they already literally can't do that. They
Okay, I
have
guess that's a bad.
they can't do that job.
Okay.
So like,
I was just trying to pull a quick one on you. Well,
do you got a better one? Like, don't let a murderer work at I don't know,
don't let a drunk driver friggin'
work at a bar.
taxi driver.
Let's say you had drunk driving charge. Should you be able to work as a bartender?
Yeah, but you probably should be.
So drunk driver can't be a taxi driver?
Probably not a good idea, you know.
Why not?
Because, like, I knew a buddy who used to have to blow in one of those machines to start his vehicle. And then he'd get his kids to blow in that machine to start his vehicle when he was drinking. And some people just can't not drink. And I had a drunk taxi driver once. It was freaky. I was on mushrooms, so it was even freakier, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's,
I'm sure that made that worse.
yeah, it was pretty freaky. Yeah.
I mean, if your prison system's doing the right thing and actually rehabilitating people, it should be nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're worried means
I didn't say we're just, but yeah, but
it means that if somebody goes to jail for drunk driving, they're not going to come out thinking driving was bad. That's not how our system works. They should. That's how my ideal system would work. They'd come out not wanting to do drinking and driving again. But like you said, they're going to come out and do it again. But I still think the taxi company should hire them. That's just my take. I think ex-cons, ex-felons, if you've served your time, you should be just like anyone else. You should be able to vote. You should be able to work.
But like, if for instance, they wouldn't hire somebody without a driver's license.
Otherwise, why did we do the punishments? Why have a punishment if after you're done, I'm still punished? You know?
Yes, yeah.
That's my reasoning.
No, I get it for most things. Not every single thing.
Like, imagine in GTA RP if they just... No. Not a good comparison. I think that's all I've got on this story.
So sorry. Rest in peace. Sorry to the families.
For sure. And we may have follow-ups so we can see, you know, how these court cases go, because we have a lot of questions. We don't know how it's going to turn out. So we'll find out. All right. Next up is Fox Business. YouTube requiring disclosure of AI-generated content labels. Hey, this is good. They fixed the problem. There you go.
Does that really fix any problem?
Well, you know how everybody's worried that AI is going to like take over? There you go. We're going to put a label saying if AI made it or not.
Yeah, because
can't take over if we put a label.
Because some people literally have a computer making videos and automatically upload them. They don't even look at the video.
I'm hoping this is to fix like the junk, like science, crazy AI written, shitty videos that keep popping up on a lot of people's feeds. I've done a pretty good job of curating my algorithm.
I haven't seen those yet, but now that you said it,
they exist out there.
So YouTube's adding new rules surrounding content generated or manipulated by AI, including labeling requirements. Okay.
Perfect. So yeah, so there's when all the deep fakes come out next year, right before the election.
So they're requiring the creators to disclose whether the content was AI generated. I was waiting for the shooter because, like, how do they know? Are they scanning? Can they tell?
Are they using AI?
What if AI gets better and then they can't tell? Is it? I mean, yeah. So they literally can't tell. They need you to say it.
Hey, have you ever watched Corridor Crew, Mike? So Corridor Crew is a bunch of like visual effects artists. And they go through and like watch things like deepfakes, and they try to make their own deepfakes and things like that. And even like the most perfect Disney Luke Skywalker looking guy, like they still have trouble with the way the mouth looks. They still have trouble with this and that. They still have trouble with.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So like you keep saying like deepfakes are all over the place, but they're not.
But
Like
see,
they're
the
not.
thing is, you know that. I know that. You can look at their lips, but most people are not going to be looking at their lips. They're going to just hear it. They're going to be like, oh, well, so-and-so
But then when
said
it gets
this.
into the hands of a credible journalist who's actually going to do their work, then we find it out that it's not real. Or,
And then
you know, I look at it and I can say, look, that shit looks fake.
You read the news. I read the news. People watch us talk about the news. Again, a lot of people do not read the news. They don't have a clue what's going on. They don't.
I'm just saying, deepfakes are still not like
They're not great, but
everybody's
still,
scared of this AI generated stuff,
think
but
they're still
AI
gonna be
generated
bad.
stuff on its own is not.
I'm
crazy.
not saying that.
Like
I'm
the
just.
computers are not as good as you think they are.
Yeah, but this isn't the computer doing this. It's people making them, and it's some of them look pretty good. And the only reason most of the time you can tell is like that person, and then you can watch a lips.
So
they move.
So if it is such a big worry, do you have any recent examples of ones that like got a bunch of people?
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it right now because it's dark. But I'll share it with you later.
All right, I kind of want to. I kind of want to see.
I want to hear about this.
No,
Yeah.
Not to leave out the audience, but
No, it
you
is.
know, let's
It's
just be
just
left
something,
out. You know.
and it is very very. Thing is like, oh my god, I can't believe Biden's saying this, and it got
Well, look,
me.
I don't want to play those
It
on
got
our
no,
episode
it
here,
is. It
anyways.
got me.
You know, we don't want to
and
share the
He was
deepfake.
saying a whole bunch of hateful things towards a group of people. I was like, oh wait, wait a second, and then I caught on, but in the comments, most people didn't have a clue, right? But again, I'm sorry, I just don't want to talk about it on here because it was pretty bad.
I mean, but
Yeah, and deepfakes and
kind of
AI is slightly different topics. I guess somewhat overlapping, but
I mean, they used to have impersonators back in the day. People that would like dress up as a person or be
Oh.
their double, like their bodyguard double, or
Joe Biden has.
yeah.
When he
So
doesn't fall,
you
when
say.
he doesn't fall down the
Right.
stairs, it's not. It's a
But-
body double. But when he's falling, it's him.
I don't know about that one.
So the video platform said it's also going to begin allowing people to request the removal of AI-generated content that, quote, simulates an identifiable individual, including the use of their face or voice. Hey, here's your
There you go.
topic.
Perfect. That's good.
We were a little early. We were just a little
Yeah,
early.
no.
The article did go there.
Yeah, that's good. They can and they express it perfect.
However, not all requests will be honored because obviously people will spam videos to try to get them taken down falsely, as they do with everything.
But I'm pretty sure if it's one of like Joe Biden or Donald Trump lying and they see it, they'll take it down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and now it's within their guidelines to do.
Now, what if
Here's
you and
my
me?
question
Probably
as
not.
well. What if like you're using AI as a tool? Like say you're using Midjourney and then you're taking assets from Midjourney and then using that in your own art. Is that something that then you also have
Artists
to
use
label as
other
AI?
people's art all the time, right? I don't know.
Right, but it would still technically be AI-generated content. So
Right.
if somebody were to request a removal,
AI generated content, like so, like let's say the
somebody could
Corridor
vindictively
did
do this
their-
to you.
Corridor Crew again. They did their rock paper scissors anime thing, and like would that have to be labeled? What they did was they actually trained the computer on their own artwork and made it generate AI generated content to go over the top of live action stuff. So it was like transforming it. But that's still AI generated. Would that have to be labeled that way? It's
But
I still have questions. I don't know.
yeah, there's lots into it. But,
Yeah. And then it
this
becomes
is a start.
how much did you use it?
Yeah, but this
And
is a
you
start.
gotta
This is
pick.
a start because they have to do that because it's not a mislead out there that people just follow. And I've been guilty of it many times. Getting much better. Now it's like that's not.
Yeah, just unfortunately there will be some people that use this maliciously. And especially against, creators who are using it the way Jay's described. There's nothing stopping one of their haters from doing this. And then within the guidelines, YouTube removing the content or demonetizing it, whichever.
Well, I was thinking a good strike or something.
Not all content will be removed from YouTube, and we'll consider a variety of factors when evaluating these requests. These could include whether the content is parody or satire, whether the person making the request can be uniquely identified, or whether it features a public official or well-known individual, in which case there may be a higher bar.
Yeah, again, probably read the articles before.
Whether the person making the request can be uniquely identified.
Like
That's an interesting part of it.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's the person reporting, so it's not just Mr. Anonymous on the internet who can just report every video he watches that he like. If they have to uniquely identify you, you probably need to verify your account or something? I don't know. I don't really know what they mean by that. The rest of that makes sense. Public official, well-known individual, that's like the Trump and Biden. If you're making a deep fake or, anything like that, or if you're just stealing well-known artists or Taylor Swift, shit like that.
But that includes parody. It's like if you're having Donald Trump say something crazy, but it's
But it's for a joke.
comedy, it could still be taken down.
Yeah, and it's left up to whatever team YouTube has moderating.
But then
It's in their hands.
That's why you just get someone who's very good at faking Trump's voice to do.
Hopefully not so good that they think it's real, that
they-
they take it down, because you're like, well, that's too real.
There's a lot of good Trump impressions out there.
There are.
But they use AI. Like that's not.
I mean, even in the ones that are like, and especially on like the parody voice of Trump, people can kind of lean into the craziness of the way he sounds, and like make it their own thing too. Like I've heard some good Trump impersonations. They don't sound exactly like Trump, but they're hilarious because they sound like him.
They're not sending their best Trump impersonators.
They're not saying they're best Trump impersonators.
All right. Well, good luck, YouTube. I don't know that you'll be able to do a whole lot, but you're doing more than I've heard anybody else. So, a lot of people are scared of AI, so, that might set some people at ease.
GOP lawmaker reveals backstory after nearly coming to blows with union boss at Senate hearing. So this is the follow-up to that where he reveals the backstory.
There's a follow-up? Wait, did you do this one or did I do this one?
You must have did that one.
I don't remember. Maybe I did.
Oh, geez, let's just jump way over here. Yeah.
Whoa, you see this guy in the background here?
Oh, wow, that guy is like
Wow.
enjoying this Jerry Springer moment.
Yes, he is realizing he's part of a spicy moment. All right, so obviously we just covered the story, so this first part we've already talked about.
You know what? I think we just both posted the article, so maybe we just didn't realize that we both posted it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
next article.
but this does have a follow-up. Mullin went on Hannity, and I pre-read this, but Mullin told Hannity that as he rose from his chair and began taking off his wedding ring, O'Brien looked terrified.
Okay.
Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. Fox News is saying that thing you said that I didn't see in the video. He didn't look terrified.
He looked ready to fight.
He looked like he was scooting his chair back and sitting up and standing up. He was like, he put his hands on the arm of his chair to sit up and stand up. Like, he was doing the same thing the other guy just did quicker. Anyways, I'm a guy from Oklahoma first. And in Oklahoma, you don't do this. Maybe you run your mouth in New Jersey, but this is some thug that's a mob boss. And you're supposed to be intimidating because he's the boss of the Teamsters, and he's gotten away with this. You're not going to run your mouth at me and expect me to sit there, and you should have seen the fear in his eyes when I stood up too. And I'm not joking.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, that's not much of a follow-up, but that's the follow-up. He went on Hannity and said, I don't know, the same thing he said in front of Bernie. He literally went on Hannity and did the same thing again. So it must be working out for him. This is more for that social following stuff I was talking about. This was big for him. He got a spot on Hannity.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you were about to say well for something else on that story.
So, Gizmodo. Netflix's new Pokemon show looks absolutely gorgeous.
Pokemon Concierge.
Is it a Pokemon show? What?
Yeah, Pokemon Concierge is the streamer's first original Pokemon series. What? Netflix is going to have their own original Pokemon series.
How can you have an original Pokemon series?
What do you mean?
It's not following like Ash Ketchum. It's basically like a little Pokemon hotel thing. It looks super cute.
Okay.
When does it come out?
So here's what it looks like. I guess we'll get to when it comes out, hopefully in the article. Here's what it looks like. And you say it's super cute. I wasn't so sure.
Yeah.
That's super cute. I don't know what you're talking about.
They're weird looking.
They're all toys.
Yeah.
They do kind of look like toys, but that it's, I need to see video, I think.
Okay, we'll go down. I'm sure we can't play much of this, but you can at least look through and get the style.
Yeah, we gotta be careful with Pokemon.
Yeah, also
especially.
make sure the volume is down.
The first full trailer for Pokemon Concierge introduces us to Haru, Karen Fukuhara in the English dub, and Rina Noonan in the Japanese. A young woman who becomes a concierge at a Pokemon resort, finding herself spreading relaxation and cheer, not just to the hotel's human visitors, but to their Pokemon. Okay. So it's almost like a Nurse Joy, but not quite.
So scroll down and play it, but again, volume.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to start.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So,
It's Haru.
Whoa, that's freaky.
No, you turn the volume off. There you go.
Oh my god. Okay, I don't know.
So it's more like Wallace.
Okay. So there's that scene. Oh, it's like stop motion. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Adorable.
Okay, I mean, some of this is kind of cute though. Like, look, that literally looks like a little stuffy that they're doing stop motion to make this video.
Yeah, it's probably not for me, but Pokemon's gonna live forever. They got to change it up once in a while.
This is for people who like Pokemon Snap.
Is that who it's for? Oh, we got a Snorlax. It looks like they're using mostly ones I recognize, which is good. They're sticking in like the first 3 generations.
No, this looks great.
Ooh,
The
that was
lantern
cool.
there. Mhm.
And at least we don't have to follow Pikachu every freaking episode. That was one of my big beefs with the animated series. I just don't like Pikachu enough to have to deal with his
In
ass
fact, I think
girl
Sega
every
is
time.
the character in this one.
Okay, well that's good. Probably.
Yeah.
They look
so, yeah,
fuzzy. They all look
they
fuzzy.
are fuzzy.
Everyone?
Yeah, they're all
All of them?
fuzzy. Here,
So maybe
go
they
to
are
the...
dolls.
Yeah, there you go. There's a Hoppip. Look at the Hoppip.
Yeah, it doesn't really look
I don't
official,
know.
but I'm sure it's gonna do
Yeah,
pretty
these
well.
are fuzzy too.
Sure, it's gonna do well.
December
28.
28th.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still
Oh,
this year.
I'll
I
let you know.
wanted to...
And maybe
Yeah,
I'll
I
watch
mean-
an episode. Hey, maybe I'll have to watch part.
We might.
Yeah.
Netflix likes to do dump trucks, so we won't have to do the waiting a week thing. But yeah, I mean, we're definitely gonna watch it because we already pay Netflix money. So
I just don't
Yeah.
think I'm gonna be able to get into it. Maybe I'll something. The last few Pokemon shows and stuff.
Well, yeah, but this is a different style than like the
Yes,
Pokemon
exactly.
anime,
They
right?
had to
This is
change it
something
for.
different. You're kind of supposed to like, and this seems to be like just kind of sit and chill. Like me personally, weed is legal here in Colorado, so I would be lighting up a large joint and
Oh.
sitting here chilling out watching Pokemon.
For sure,
and
too.
I will be enjoying myself.
For
So
sure, 100. Even if weed wasn't legal.
yeah,
not
but
that I think
I
that's-
think that's kind of the vibe this is going for. It's more of a chillax. It's not a battle thing. It's
Yeah.
I didn't really read anything saying it's necessarily intended for children
Yeah. I did.
or like a under 7 kind of audience. So I would prefer it be made for a teen audience so that it doesn't.
I
suck.
recommend watching the Twisted. Anybody out there? I watched that over the weekend. It was amazing. And if you like the game, it brought back some.
And that's available on.
It's on Paramount Plus in Canada at least. Yeah.
hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
It's not, yeah. I recommend. Like, I don't talk about it. I do recommend it though. I have such a hard time getting into shows. Like, I can't sit there more than usually an hour and watch. I literally watch almost all 10. They're only half hour.
Looks like it's a Peacock original. Does that sound right?
For Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
That's
I actually have another video game related article. Would you mind if I add that?
yeah. So sure, why not?
It's from Kotaku, and it's about Sega.
Sega.
I just added that to the list there.
Sega.
Let's go to that one right away.
Yeah, we're already on a video game topic. Here we go.
And this kind of seems like something that we talk about, pretty often, which is unions in general.
Yeah.
But from Kotaku, workers accuse Sega of threatening mass layoffs over unionizing.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
So the Sonic publisher has been hit with an unfair labor practice complaint.
Oh, no.
So, and if you can fire them before they vote on becoming a union.
Yeah, I mean, if they're trying to unionize, I mean, they could fire them for all kinds of reasons, but it depends on their local laws as far as, illegal firing practices.
Yeah, I guess first of all, are we talking about American workers or offshore workers here?
Looks like in Japan.
Yeah,
Let's
so
see.
Sega, this is for Sega America, of forcing employees into meetings where they were told that their jobs would be offshore to Japan or Europe, rather than bargaining over layoffs directly with union. So basically, they said, instead of doing unions, we're gonna go ahead and just make Japan do all of it. Don't worry, this is teams that are doing like the marketing and advertising and things like that here in the United States. Does that make sense? So, like, this isn't the people making the video games.
Okay, yeah.
This is
they're
people that are
making
taking the localization teams that are translating it. This is the people that are getting the marketing materials out there for the American audience.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that
they
was-
The union, which formed earlier this year, currently represents over 200 employees across marketing, sales, product development, and other departments. So they do have a union already with 200 employees in it. Well, yeah.
What's the strike
But-
for though? Is it because there jobs here, or
So the
No,
layoffs
for
are-
retaliatory practices by the employer. You can't just fire people because they unionize.
Right.
That's taking retaliation. That's typically against the
That is against-
National Labor Relations Board,
100%.
NLRB.
That's why they're getting slapped with a fine.
So they're trying to lay off 40% of these people. 100% of those people need to go on the street and say, then none of us are.
Right.
I can
So-
see that.
So they're trying to fire 80.
Because that's what a union is for. To fight for you.
So the union leader says it's disheartening to see such actions from Sega, as it is unmistakably demonstrates bad faith bargaining and refusal to recognize the valuable contributions of a significant portion of our colleagues, who is also a senior QA tester at Sega. So we have filed an unfair labor practices charge to call out Sega's direct dealing with members and its breaching of the status quo by telling bargaining unit members that our jobs would be ending shortly. Sega did not immediately respond to requests for comment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're basically intimidating the workers instead of just going to the union and speaking with the union as they're supposed to.
Yeah.
They're going around and telling all the workers, hey, you're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your job.
So it's going to get reviewed by the National Labor Relations Board, but it may not be resolved in time to prevent the massive layoffs, so they may not face the consequences until all these people are already fired. Is kind of the sucky thing about it.
And yeah, I'll get paid out. Hopefully good afterwards.
Yeah.
How much is good? Who knows?
So, Allied Employees Guild Improving Sega is one of the biggest unions to have formed in the video game industry so far, with only 200 people. That's
So far.
a little sad that one of the
Yeah.
biggest is so small. I wish that
The video
more.
game industry needs to unionize, probably.
There's so many people in that industry, so many, especially like this one where it says it's unique and encompassing employees from all different types of roles rather than department specific. So they're not just taking the coders, not just the art department. You know, it's all
the
those things you
video
listed.
Industry is victim to the consolidation practice that a lot of investors do, where they'll buy up companies and then start closing studios if something doesn't perform as well as they hoped it would. Even if a game performs super well, they may still be like, oh, didn't hit the mark where we wanted it, and that studio's gone.
Like City.
So yeah, I think the video game market needs to unionize for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm these 200 people, I start the strike. Enough has already happened. The fact that they're not negotiating with your union means they're not recognizing your, so you need to strike.
Don't they have to talk to the union to strike though?
That's what I'm saying to do.
Yeah, but won't that take time too? So by the
No, I mean a vote to strike can happen tomorrow.
okay,
As soon as they go into work, it could happen. Like no, the things that take time, unfortunately, are trying to litigate against a company. In America, I mean, they can appeal forever. It's a joke, and yeah, Sonic should be sad. Now I didn't quite see how they connected the layoffs to the unionizing, other than timing. So that's going to be a tricky one for them to sell. But the fact that they were going directly to members and bypassing the actual, union leaders for negotiating, they're already in the wrong. That's why I say go ahead and strike.
Yeah.
They already did it.
trying to warn the people. Fire.
They wanted to do intimidation tactics. They want to do retaliatory tactics. Strike. That's what it's for. And you may not be able to keep all 80 of those temporary workers' jobs when you get to the negotiating table, but probably better than losing all 80 of them. You probably negotiate some of them.
But would you want to work there after that? Who knows?
Of course. After my union goes to bat for me and wins, I would want to continue working there, of course. Oh, you mean if my union loses? No, I'd leave. Or, I don't maybe I understand the question.
Like, yeah, would you want to keep working in a place that was trying to fire you?
Depends on how my union does. You know how they do arguing on my behalf. Now, if it's a non-union place threatening to fire me, yeah, I don't really want to work somewhere threatening to fire me. That's holding that over your head. That's not healthy. You know,
Yeah.
going into a job that they'll fire you and they tell you they'll fire you any minute, like.
Yeah,
Peace.
that's a hostile work environment kind of.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might not be legal.
Yeah, that's rough.
But anyways, I think we got 2 more stories here. We're getting pretty close to the end.
Associated Press: Mother of 6-year-old boy who shot teacher gets 21 months for marijuana use while owning a gun. I don't see how that would
Did
hold up.
not know that was a charge. Depends on what.
Wasn't that a long sentence with a lot going on?
Mother of
Yeah,
6-year-old boy who shot teacher marijuana while owning a gun.
So that's the weird part. The charge for her is just this?
Owning a gun?
I didn't know this was a special charge. I kind of.
It's not.
What state? I didn't pre-read.
Wait,
not a
let's
special
guess what
charge.
state this is. Don't know. I should probably know. But say
North Carolina.
Yeah, that I'm gonna say Virginia. I don't know. I have no clue.
I'm gonna go Alabama. We are
Virginia.
Oh!
Wait, was that? Who was that?
We have a winner. That was Mike.
Yeah, so,
There you go.
wow.
You guessed the state
Yeah.
that this craziness happened.
Yeah.
So she was sentenced Wednesday to 21 months in prison for using marijuana while owning a firearm, which is illegal under U.S. law. Deja Taylor's son took her handgun to school and shot Abby Zwerner in her first grade classroom in January, seriously wounding the educator. Investigators later found nearly an ounce of marijuana in Taylor's bedroom, which is not a lot, and evidence of frequent drug use in her text message and paraphernalia. So she probably went on Facebook and was posting pictures of herself hitting a bong.
Yeah.
Or texting your friends, "Hey, you want to go get some weed?
So
Or you want to come over and smoke a joint?" Things we all text and say.
Well, not
She's
everybody.
lucky she didn't get like something crazy like
neglect,
attempted homicide or yeah. So she does face a separate sentencing in December on the state level for felony child neglect, which I think she deserves. I don't think it's the marijuana.
Yeah, that's the charge I was expecting.
Yeah. Don't leave your gun lying around where your 6-year-old
The teacher's suing the school system for $40 million.
The teacher is suing the school system because apparently she says the administration ignored warnings. The boy had a gun. What do you mean warnings? Like, do they have a metal detector for this first grade classroom? They might. This is America.
It is, you know.
Like, do they have a guard and a school resource officer? Like, are there like 3 layers of security?
Maybe he said he did, and they didn't believe him. And
shit, yeah, he might have even just said it. I brought a gun today. I don't know what 1-year-olds sound like, or 6-year-olds, or whatever first graders sound like. I don't know what they sound like.
I personally charge for that. She's making out the weed. That's a very bizarre charge.
No, yeah.
That's a very, very weird charge. But possession. I mean,
I think she should probably face more charges than child neglect. To be honest, she probably
improper,
attempted homicide.
Improper storage of a gun. Improper storage of not keeping the. I don't know. In Canada, you have to have the ammo, like the bullets and the gun, in separate locked apartments. I think it's kind of silly. So.
What is it when you almost kill someone? You probably
murder? Oh, like attempted murder, right? Like,
yeah, like you don't let your kid play with your gun.
Yeah, but like I'm sure. Okay. Hopefully she didn't, but yeah, there's many charges you can have on that. Like, was the gun registered to her too? I don't.
So yeah, this is kind of weird. So the judge, Davis, said there was a, quote, direct line between Zerner's wounds, the teacher, and Taylor's decision to mix heavy marijuana use with owning a gun. Huh?
What?
There's a direct line between the teacher who got shot in the hand and chest and the mom of the kid who did the shooting's use of marijuana.
Nice.
What?
I eat almost every day, and I've never had anyone.
And then it says Taylor's son would have never obtained the weapon if his mother had obeyed the law.
That's a true.
Huh?
Well, yeah.
No.
If she kept the gun locked and all that, probably true.
Right, but that's not what they're talking about. They're not saying you didn't keep it locked up. They're saying you had a gun and had marijuana. And if you hadn't had marijuana, your son would never get to that gun? No, I don't buy that. Not having marijuana doesn't make it inaccessible to get to gun. They're not related.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty.
Keep your marijuana locked up. Keep your gun locked up.
Yeah.
Why are any of those available? I bet she did keep her weed locked up. Let's be honest.
He has to keep.
Yeah, I feel like they have enough other charges that this shouldn't need to be a thing. You know what I mean? Like, you could nail her on something else.
Maybe they're just doing that because they couldn't get her in anything else. Who knows? But that it seems they should have something.
I don't know. Child neglect, child endangerment. Do we? I mean,
At a federal level, but yeah, child
are these
neglect.
not big enough
And
charges?
the gun
Maybe I don't
storage,
know.
You know, like
Yeah, improper gun storage.
There's many gun. There's probably 5 or 6 gun
Well,
charges.
then, at what age are you no longer responsible?
13.
Is it no? Well, is it?
I don't know.
Because like, if your teenager goes to school and shoots somebody, are you as a parent
parents
still
get charged all the time for that.
Do they?
Yep, the parents get charged
Okay.
many times.
I feel like that doesn't happen enough. Like, I don't hear about the
Well,
parents getting
because
charged.
they're not being charged for murder and stuff. I'm trying to think of the parents I know that got charged just they tried to fight it and they lost.
So this is a federal case, which I guess is important because this is saying Virginia is legal marijuana. So it's legal to own both these things in that state, but federally illegal to own both these things in the state.
Yeah, okay, that's what they Okay, jailed parents.
America's great.
So this is just off topic, but jailed parents of Michigan school shooter will have separate trials after. Doesn't really matter. They both got. Pretty sure they're found guilty. I can't find that article. But yeah, James and Jennifer Crumbly.
That's a different story.
Yeah, cause their son started up a school, and they're being charged for his son's actions.
Yeah, if you're a parent out there, keep an eye on your own little shit.
Sure. Watch them. Look at their phone. Go through their phone. Fucking know what they're up to. They don't want
Like,
you to.
I see kids playing Grand Theft Auto roleplay all the time, and I'm just like, where are your parents?
Yeah. No, exactly. Right. Like, what the heck? Yeah,
Be in charge of your little shit. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, they're basically playing a game that makes them Walter White on Breaking Bad. Would you let your kid watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Don't let them play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, no, I chew that. Right? It's like they're gonna be drug dealers and all this, and one day they're gonna go out in real life and be like, the fuck down, and then the head blown off. Boom, it's over, right?
So the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans ruled in August that drug users should not automatically be banned from having guns.
Okay, well.
So, not everywhere is going to be the same.
That's pretty crazy.
Also, isn't Virginia
if
very
this were
pro-Second
to-
Amendment? Like, aren't they going to appeal this in the state anyway?
But it's a
Just
drugs
based
part of
on-
thing.
Maybe. Appealed all the way up to the Supreme Court so they can actually strike down the federal ban.
Right.
That's what needs to happen. A case needs to get all the way to the Supreme Court so that they can get rid of that. Because it's... I think it's kind of silly. I think it's unrelated. And I think it's leftovers from the stupid war on drugs era, where marijuana was classified with everything else for no real reason.
I agree.
Well, I never mind. I shouldn't say no real reason. It's just too long of a reason to get into.
Okay. Well,
It was about the war, the Vietnam. But
she gets 20 months, and hopefully
Different
she
story,
gets
different
more.
day.
And hopefully she gets more for child neglect. Sucks the son lost some mother, but lost. But time. Kids. Guns that reach a kid.
yeah, I mean, I guess I would say I hope she doesn't get more because this is already what I would have given her for the things she actually did.
Yeah.
And this marijuana wallet again, so
That's a bizarre
I
charge.
kind of hope she doesn't get more stuff because 21 months is already what I would probably give her for the child neglect that she did.
And then she should also have to friggin', I guess this lots of money, but from her, not this.
Why?
Because she go there. Like, how's they can't prove that the counselor. let the kid go there and shoot the woman. Responsible for the woman both bills.
I mean, maybe. That's kind of weird though, because I mean, you start to go down a weird rabbit hole when you start to charge the parents of somebody who did something.
That's what I
Because
thought
like,
about that.
what age do you cut that off? Do we just
Okay,
say
let's
there's
go back
an
to
age
that.
where we
I'll
do
go
that?
back to that.
And if that's the case, then we need to go back to the story we covered where there was 13 to 17-year-olds. Their parents need to face punishments. You know, we were talking about how all those families were ruined. I don't think we should prosecute all those families.
Hey, the Oxford High School. What one was that?
Like, even if we were to just look at the 13-year-old from the earlier story, the parents of that 13-year-old don't need to have charges filed against them, lawsuits filed against them.
Okay, so the parents are being charged for their son who, see how old he is. Killed four students, and then he was, how old was he?
I mean, did they provide material support to
Yeah, he was 15 years
the
old.
actual act of violence? Because providing material support for the acts of violence is different.
I believe it was neglect. Being charged with manslaughter. I think it was neglect.
Was it their gun?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's where I think that's where the line is did they provide the equipment?
Yeah, but they didn't provide it. He took it. That's in this case too,
But
right?
So how are they going to argue that against them? Like, they literally still have to prove their case against them. Has this case happened, like, completed yet, or is it pending?
I don't know. This happened years ago, so.
Because, I mean, the defense attorneys would have a field day with this. Like, it's very hard to get all the check marks for the different crimes, like the requirements to prove a crime, when you're trying to prove it for the wrong person.
It literally. Oh wow! 5 hours ago, there's actually an update.
5 hours ago on the story you're talking about?
No, freaking November 15th, 20. Okay, wow, that is bizarre. I didn't even say.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. But jailed parents of Michigan school shooters will have separate trials after police interviewed witness. I said that, but that was November 15th.
Okay, so they've yet to have their day in court, but I will be surprised, and I would probably want to hear why if they are found guilty.
Well, like,
and
is it something where the son knew the combination to the safe, or is it something where they didn't put it in a safe, or is it something?
Is this the one where they texted him saying not to buy too much ammo from Walmart?
No, that one.
Is it that one?
The parents
they literally texted him about the bullets.
Accusing of making the firearm too easily accessible for their son.
Okay, so that's a different one then, because and
ignoring signs of his depression.
Too easy and. Yeah, they're gonna have a hell of a time proving what charge. What's the charge they're trying to get for?
Involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah, they're gonna have a hell of a hard time doing that. I'd say they're gonna get not guilty. Is my prediction.
The son gets sentenced on December 8th. Oh, and then.
And what's he getting?
He's been charged for
murder 1 or whatever.
Murder 4.
First degree. What?
Murder in the 4th degree.
Yeah. Murder times.
No. Wait, no.
Oh, 4 murders.
Murder in the 1st degree. Gotcha.
I was gonna say that's a pretty big difference between 4 murders and 4th degree murder.
The 4th degree murder.
If there is,
4th degree murder has to be like you accidentally knocked over. Like
4th degree murder, also known as involuntary manslaughter, is a type of killing where there is no intention to kill, but where a negligent or careless act leads to a death of another person.
Right. It's kind of like manslaughter.
Wait, shouldn't that be the charge for the parents, if anything?
Yeah, that's why I didn't mean to say 4th. I meant to say he's being charged with 24 crimes. And
holy cow! I mean, that makes sense though. He shot up a school, right?
30 kids and killed 4, so probably got charged. He pled guilty for charge. He's gonna get life without parole.
So here's a thought. I guess. What's the purpose of punishing the parents? Is the hope that by punishing parents like this, other parents will not let their kids become school shooters?
Yeah.
Is that the hope? Is that this will make other people deterred from? I'm not sure what exactly. Like not deterred from ignoring depression. Maybe I don't know.
You should have those warning signs. You should pay attention to your kid's life.
Like, if you're gonna make an example of her, I just want to understand the example,
Again,
or even not just her, the other parents you're talking. There's a couple
but
cases
the gun
going.
thing is like people are leaving guns out. Like people are always blaming. It's like,
Well,
no,
for
guns-
sure, but I didn't see that as one of the freaking charges.
not in this one here. But in the other one-
Negligent, like firearm safety stuff, should be the ton of the charges I read in here, but it didn't. But are those charges not harsh enough? Probably not. I'm guessing they're not harsh enough.
Like the marijuana.
Because gun owners would say you're banning my gun.
The marijuana oil gun. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But like,
Yes.
shit, like I said, get rid of that. If she's not allowed marijuana where she is, give her the possession of marijuana then. And I'm not for that either, but that's the law there.
Well, it's Virginia. It's legal.
Okay, so
Yeah, she had less than an ounce, so it was legal.
yeah, okay.
Now, but leaving the gun out and negligently having your kid take that gun to school, those
At
have
6
to be
years
crimes.
old, right? Like
Yeah, there's some severe child neglect there.
for sure.
Like the circumstances such that a judge should be able to give a maximum penalty for those two charges, whatever charges. But I still think they're probably just not harsh enough,
But
because
again-
the way the gun lobby fights in my country, they stop gun laws like that.
But again, for the kid to lose their mom for years is gonna
Oh, for sure. It's just another situation where this family is never gonna be the same.
could have just been fixed with the freaking lock.
And I kind of skipped over. I didn't actually say this part down here, but they do go into a little detail about the teacher. The teacher has permanent hand injury.
Worst, yeah, bullet with her hand.
She's had 5 surgeries just to try to return motion to her left hand, and I don't know that she's really gotten back to the way she was. And apparently, she's also got anxiety, depression,
Oh, yeah.
PTSD.
That's-
She just can't be a teacher anymore.
Well,
So
no,
huge impact on that side too.
Some people are like, oh, whatever. Some people are probably like, oh, that's. People deal with stuff in different. That's a traumatic thing to go through.
Well, could you even imagine having a 6-year-old point a gun at you?
exactly.
Like
The kids that
that
you,
oh shit moment you got.
the kids that
I mean-
you would probably take a bullet for, just gotcha, right?
And that the kid doesn't realize how dangerous the moment is either.
Exactly. Hope not. Hopefully the kid gets some. Sure, he knew it was real. Yeah, 6-year-olds aren't smartest, but dumbest. Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happens to the boy. I mean, you don't send this kid to prison, but like counseling, psychiatry, that kind of stuff for sure.
Like, I don't know, see what his intentions were. Like,
Well,
the
but
teacher, or was his
even
intention-
beyond,
was his intention to be like, oh, I just thought it was a toy gun and I brought it to school. It was fun.
well, yeah, you got to dig into where the kid was mentally at, but also like that kid went through that same ordeal. That thing where we said the teacher now has anxiety, depression, PTSD. That kid was in that same scene where the gunfire is loud,
All
the
the kids
blood
are-
went everywhere.
All the kids are probably.
All those kids are gonna need some help, but like this kid especially, like this is a traumatic thing to go through.
Yeah.
Even though you are the one pulling the trigger, it's
weird.
there's no way the 6-year-old would have the mental capacity to understand what was. So hopefully they get help.
Hey.
And hopefully not from mom. Hopefully we get real help, because mom was not helping. I want to make that clear. As much as I'm a fan of marijuana, mom is a bad mom.
And and I kind of look at her face right there. It's like, oh, I did nothing wrong.
I don't like that smugness.
Yeah, that's a look. You can tell that look. Like she's, oh nope, I'm not. Like this is how dare they?
Yeah. Yeah. I think 21 months sounds good, though. I think that's about right. I'm okay with this.
Hey, last story.
Yep, and it's a follow-up.
Warner Brothers again.
Yep, Warner Brothers, Coyote, and Acme. We're never going to end this story. The story keeps giving.
What happened here?
All right, so this is from AV Club. I'm not sure what AV Club is. Pop culture obsessive writing for pop culture obsessed. We've never been here. But yeah, anyways, the Coyote and Acme fiasco attracts congressional attention. Yeah, it's startling to consider how much WBD's self-inflicted wound is starting to look like Wile E. Coyote's style comeuppance.
What
So,
are they talking
Are
about?
they?
So
people
we need to bring
thinking-
Jays up to speed.
Yeah, yeah. So
I- Were you with us for either of the other two?
No, I don't think so.
When they were talking about the live action Warner Brothers, live action Blake Lively movie, John Cena.
Well, hybrid live action like Space Jam, where there's real
This
people
could
but
have
there's
been something we
animation.
talked about, like, was this months ago
No,
or
last
was
week.
it?
Well, there was 2 times we talked about it. The first time we talked about it might have been months ago,
was
where
last
we were saying that they were going to make it,
It was last week.
Okay.
or no, that they were canceling it. And then last week we did the update saying they're not canceling it; they're
Monday.
uncanceling it.
That was Monday.
But there was the original where we covered it saying they were canceling. I don't know when we did that. That was not a week ago.
Last week.
So is this going to be like?
No, last
Space
week was when we
Jam
said
or
they
the-
undid
Okay,
that.
I
No,
don't
that
think
was
I've heard
Monday.
anything about this.
So were they both last week?
No, one was it's
Forget about
Wednesday
when you
today.
did it.
One was
I haven't
Monday. The one was like last Wednesday or Friday.
But who's on first?
Okay, so forget about when you did it. I haven't heard about this, and I'm sure some of our viewers also haven't heard about this. Can you catch me up to speed?
Okay, so Warner Brothers made years ago, and this is we figured out. They actually made an animation of
We
this back in
didn't
the
figure it
90s.
out, but
But didn't they say in the 90s?
yeah, but we did never figure out why all those actors did not make sense.
Yes, because they.
My thought was the script was done in 1999 or whatever, but
Might
not
have
the
been
actual
talking about what
filming.
you know. So yes,
So
I
they did
didn't
the
figure it out. I'll say that
cartoon.
I didn't figure anything
they,
out.
They made the cartoon in the 90s, and now they're planning to CGI in or green screen into the guys. They already did it just where they put them in. Probably updated the animation because. But John Cena was supposed to be in a movie, live action movie.
Right, but did you know John Cena 20 years ago?
It doesn't matter. It was 5 years ago. So Frank,
It does matter.
Here's my guess.
When somebody became an actor, matters.
So here's what I'm gonna guess. It's gonna be like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit type of thing, where it was in and out of production, and the movie got canceled or remade or whatever multiple times. But they did the animation cells back in the day, and they're just gonna green screen in people.
It was like an echo, almost exactly what I was trying to say, but
Gotcha.
like most of the things.
Now I understand.
Yeah.
So this is attracting congressional attention. Why does somebody own the rights? What's going on?
Warner Brothers okay. So go back to the story. Warner Brothers originally from last week. Warner Brothers was gonna put this on the shelf and hide it away because they're like, never gonna be seen. Blah blah blah. People freaked out over the weekend. Then on Monday, they're like, "Yep, never mind. We're gonna put it up for auction."
What do you mean put it up for auction? Like
but they're gonna sell it to a different studio, right?
Okay.
Like for instance, Sound of Freedom was made back in 2013. It was filmed in 2013. It sat on a shelf from Disney for 10 years, and they sold it to Mel Gibson's studio, which they released.
Ooh. Okay, so it's not good then.
Well, just no. That's actually I heard it was pretty good from everybody. But I'm just using that as an example, right? So it's not them, but another company can buy that and they can have the rights to it.
Gotcha. So it sounds like it's not their normal quality, and they're not happy with it in some way, and so it's a will they, won't they kind of thing.
Find out.
So that still leads us to why is this getting congressional attention?
Yeah,
Well,
So what does Congress have to do with this? Or is Congress going to fight Wile E. Coyote?
there was a part in the last time we covered this that tells us the answer.
Okay.
Sorry, you were saying you had something?
What's the answer?
No, you just derailed what I was saying completely. Sorry.
So why is Congress
why is
involved?
Congress? What did we talk about in the last episode that answers that question?
What did you talk about
So-
last time? Yeah.
So there was a tax write-off thing. God damn it! I just remembered it as you
For
both
sure,
kept
you
saying
got
it.
tax write-off, yeah.
So they were going to put it on the shelf, but they were somehow going to get a tax write-off for not releasing it. They were going to get money for not releasing it.
Oh, gotcha. It would be a depreciation.
That was
loss.
the detail from the second time we talked about that brought congressional attention because they're like, hold on a second.
That's a tax loophole.
You're going to make something and you're going to not put it out and you're going to make money? How is that different from insurance fraud? Or, setting it up like it's like buying a house and setting it on fire.
But they're talking about the loss, maybe, because like, say I buy and sell stuff. I buy 100,000. I'm just using numbers. I'm nowhere near them. I buy $100,000 worth of stuff. I only make $50,000. I can write off $50,000.
Well, I'm guessing this thing would be like a direct to DVD level quality, but they probably want to say like, "Oh, it was gonna be $1 billion movie, and see, look, all this money we lost on that. Taxes, please." Like, yeah, I get it.
So yeah, WB was going to allow filmmakers to shop the movie around, giving another studio the opportunity to release the film featuring one of WB's most beloved and seminal characters. It's like if Disney allowed Netflix to do a Mickey Mouse movie, or a studio removed the words HBO from a streaming service, or a social media company changed the name Twitter to X.
Okay, so. But yeah, alrighty then, but. Okay. The follow-up from Warner Brothers. Okay, I can't. That's too.
Yeah, this is.
It sounds to me like somebody saw the concept for Space Jam and was like, I want to do one of those.
And I think they did this shortly after Space Jam. They did it like 96.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly. And Space Jam, is that Warner Brothers? I'm pretty sure it is. So.
Yeah, it is Warner
But
Brothers.
yeah, they did them both at the same time, and this one just sat off.
So, anyways, the fallout from Warner's hunt for some sweet tax write-off money, that's the tax thing I was talking about, isn't over yet. Texas Representative Joaquin Castro is asking the Justice Department and FTC to look into the matter, comparing WB's tactics to burning down a building for the insurance. The WBD tactic of scrapping fully made films for tax breaks is predatory and anti-competitive. As the Justice Department and FTC revise their antitrust guidelines, they should review this conduct. As someone remarked, it's like burning down a building for the insurance money. Yeah. They created a thing and then destroyed the thing, but somehow got money from. They're screwing someone.
Yeah, someone's gonna pay this.
I feel like Intel does this too.
Why do they get a tax write-off for not releasing a movie?
Intel will make a better.
Can we get rid of that law right now?
I think what it is they had people sponsor them for the movie, right? So people gave them millions of dollars. They spent that millions of dollars and all that. Like, oh no, we're just write that off and not pay the people back, and we're also gonna write it off as a loss. I don't know.
But Intel will make a better processor and then not release it because their competition hasn't caught up to them yet. And then like claim the research on that as a loss. Like, I'm almost certain Intel does something very similar to this.
Okay, well, so what's gonna happen? I hope they still sell it. They're not gonna do it now, right? So, but maybe they're just gonna look into all the other stuff. If they've done one, they've done it before.
Well, regardless, I think they're still going to shop the movie. So from a content perspective, I think we're going to get the content. Whether or not the Justice Department does anything, I have my doubts.
Yeah,
they just don't do much.
Anybody have anything else to say?
I look forward to seeing Coyote versus Acme.
I don't think it's ever coming out.
I believe
10
in it.
years, 10, 12 years.
What were the other names that were in it? The other actors, other than John Cena.
Unite on John Cena. I don't. You do.
Will Forte, John Cena. I don't know the rest of these, but it's got Will Forte.
Your names.
Lana Condor,
Probably
PJ Byrne.
really bad.
Oh, it's gonna be horrible.
It's gotta be really
It's gonna be horrible,
bad.
but whatever. You joint and he's back and you watch The Road Runner. You know, I love that show.
I got you. Okay.
Like you're right. Yeah, exactly right.
But I think it's gonna be laughably bad. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't have catchphrases.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Wait, is that the last story?
So here's the storyline of the movie. After all the products made by Acme Corporation backfire on Wile E. Coyote in his pursuit of the Roadrunner, he hires an equally unlucky human attorney to sue the company. When Wiley's lawyer finds out that his former law firm's intimidating boss is Acme's CEO, he teams up with Wiley to win the court case against. That's what they say the storyline is.
That one's kind of stupid, but
that sounds like a terrible storyline.
What if they show like the poster for it and Wile E. Coyote looks like Sonic from the first time they showed Sonic from the live-action Sonic movie?
Yeah, they're still canceled right away. Yeah.
He has like human teeth and stuff. What if that's what we're dealing with here?
I don't think they will. Because it's filmed right after Space. They created it right after Space Jam.
Yeah, but like, so Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Are you familiar with the history of that? I recently watched a video on it.
Okay, not really. I watched it back in the day.
It started as like a racy comic book with a completely different story. and Disney bought the rights to it and completely changed it. It went through multiple iterations. It was originally going to be directed by like Steven Spielberg and Steven Zemeckis or whatever, or is it Steven Zemeckis? Anyway, the Zemeckis guy. And it just changed so many times from its original concept, and then eventually we got what was amazing and an awesome movie. But I don't know. I could see this being the thing that, yeah, it started in the 90s, but so Who Framed Roger Rabbit started in like the 80s and then eventually came out like early 80s or whatever, and eventually came out like 10 years later.
It finished filming in 2022.
Yeah.
Not 5 years before John Cena acted. John Cena started acting in 2006.
Okay, you don't understand. You never mind.
Wait,
Yeah.
I didn't. It could not have. They could not have done the actual
I'm not
live action
saying-
parts before
That's not what
recently.
I'm saying. I'm saying they did that freaking cartoon parts. They just.
I'm not even sure about that. I'm not even sure about
We
that.
saw
I don't
that.
think we ever
went
had.
over it.
Did we have
Yes.
confirmation of that?
You looked it up. We saw it on the internet. It's gotta be real.
No, we saw things that confused me, and I don't think I have that answer.
Okay, well,
Is what we saw.
You know what?
And what
Why
I'm
don't we all
getting
go back
slowly
to
is that this
last
happened in 2022.
Yes, but that's when they finished.
Yeah.
Okay. Dustin,
And if we do go back to that episode,
Chris
it
has
will
nothing to
include me
say.
saying
Do you have
that.
anything to say?
Nope, nothing.
No?
Good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's anyway.
I mean, if you're gonna cut me off, good night, everyone.
Yeah, okay. What do you want to say?
So borderlinebanter.com. Check out our
Dustin,
social
what do you wanna
media.
say?
We have Facebook, TikTok, X, YouTube. Press all the buttons, please.
Press all the buttons, and if you want to be on the show, definitely definitely drop us a line. I didn't expect the screen to move. Drop us a line. There's a few rules. Definitely just shoot us a message, and we'd love to have you on the show. And as always, we like to lead the show, and it's okay not to be. No, there's always someone who wants to talk to you, and the state. It's 645-6. On that note, Dustin. Hey, well, have a great night, everybody. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Have a good. Oh, somebody here.